Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. I had always trusted her, not blindly, but with a quiet certainty I thought only love could give. We had our routines, our shared glances over morning coffee, the way she'd smile at me when I came home from work. It wasn't perfect, of course. No marriage is, but I believed in us. I believed in the home we built together, in the life we had carefully stitched from years of compromise and laughter. Until that night, it started innocently, or at least it seemed that way at first. She told me she was going out to meet a few friends, something casual, just a small gathering to unwind. I nodded, a little tired from the day, and waved her off. I didn't ask much, didn't question her plans. In hindsight, that should have been my first warning. That should have been the moment when I paused, when something inside me whispered, maybe tonight is different. I settled into the living room, scrolling mindlessly through my phone, pretending to be relaxed, pretending that everything was fine. Hours passed. The hum of the city outside was familiar, comforting even, until my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Are you her husband?" it read. I froze. My heart began to pound. My first thought was a prank. Someone tried to be funny. But the words held an edge, a sharpness I couldn't ignore. The message continued. "She's at a party tonight. You wouldn't believe who's there." I stared at the screen, disbelief and dread mixing into a cold, heavy lump in my chest. My mind raced. What party? What could he possibly mean? And why would someone even send this to me? Before I could respond, another message arrived. Pictures. Dozens of them. At first, I didn't recognize anything. But then my stomach dropped. My wife, laughing, dancing, surrounded by men I didn't know. Men who looked too close, too familiar. She wasn't just at a gathering. She was somewhere else entirely, somewhere that made my entire world tilt on its axis. I tried to convince myself I was seeing things wrong. Perhaps it was a reunion with old friends. Perhaps the photos were misleading. But the way she held herself, the way she smiled at those men, the subtle touches captured on camera, it wasn't friendly. It wasn't harmless. It was something I had never seen in our home. Something I had never imagined she could do. I called her immediately. The line rang and rang. No answer. My panic grew, twisting into a kind of rage I didn't recognize in myself. When she finally picked up, her voice was light, carefree, entirely normal. "Hey, I'm just having fun with some friends," she said, and the casual tone cut me more sharply than any insult could. "Where exactly are you?" I demanded, trying to steady my voice. "Oh, you don't need to worry about that. I'll be home late," she replied, a laugh in her tone, dismissing my fear like it was nothing. I hung up, my hand shaking, my mind racing. Something had changed. Something had shifted. And I knew, deep down, with a certainty that scared me, I was no longer seeing the woman I thought I knew. I didn't sleep that night. I wandered the house, pacing, replaying the photos over and over in my head. Each one felt like a punch to the gut, a reminder that everything I believed about us was perhaps a lie. By the time the first light of dawn crept through the blinds, I had made a decision. I needed to know the truth. No more messages from strangers. No more guessing. I had to see for myself what kind of night she had really spent. Later that evening, under the guise of going out for a quick errand, I drove. My hands gripped the steering wheel, so tightly my knuckles turned white. Every red light felt like a countdown. Every car beside me a potential witness to the unraveling of my life. I found the address, a dimly lit building tucked away behind narrow streets. The kind of place I never would have guessed she'd step foot into. Music pulsed from inside, faint but unmistakable. Laughter, voices. I could hear it even from the parking lot. I stood there for a long time, watching through the slightly cracked blinds. My heart was hammering, my stomach in knots. And then I saw her. She wasn't just there. She was in the middle of a crowd, laughing, leaning close to a man I didn't know, his hand brushing hers in a way that was intimate, too intimate. My chest tightened, and a hollow emptiness spread through me. The life I thought I had, the love, the trust, the bond, was unraveling right before my eyes. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to disappear. But I couldn't. I was frozen, caught in a nightmare I hadn't imagined existed. The woman I married, the person I trusted with everything, was somewhere else entirely. Somewhere I wasn't welcome. Somewhere I didn't belong. And that's when I realized the truth. It wasn't just one night. It wasn't just a simple mistake. Whatever this was, it was deeper, more deliberate. And I had no idea how to stop it, or if I even could. That night changed everything. I didn't move for what felt like hours, just staring at her through the glass. Every laugh, every touch, every careless glance she gave that man twisted a knife deeper into me. And yet, something inside told me I couldn't let it go unchecked. I needed answers. I needed to hear her say it herself. I waited until she left, the crowd thinning, the music fading, and then I followed her car from a distance, every red light stretching my nerves thin. She drove without noticing me, or maybe she did, and that realization hurt even more. When she finally pulled into our driveway, I stayed in my car a few moments longer, trying to steady the storm inside me. I walked inside quietly. The house was empty. That's when she appeared in the doorway, fresh from her night, laughing at something on her phone. The carefree smile, the casual tone, the way she stepped into the room like nothing had happened. It was unbearable. "Where have you been?" I asked, my voice low, trembling with anger and disbelief. She looked up, surprised. "I told you I was just out with friends. You worry too much." Friends. I repeated, each word deliberate, each one burning. "Do you call that a friendly gathering?" I pulled out my phone, showing her the messages, the pictures. Her eyes widened for a moment, and then she blinked, looked away, and forced a laugh. "Oh, that?" she said, almost casually. "It's not what it looks like." Not what it looks like. Those words cut deeper than any slap, because I knew better. I had seen enough to know exactly what it looked like. And what it looked like was betrayal, plain and simple. Not what it looks like. I shouted, my voice echoing through the house. "I watched you tonight. You weren't just at a party. You were in the middle of a crowd of men, flirting, laughing, touching, everything I trusted you with, gone in a few hours." She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me, her face a mask I didn't recognize anymore. I wanted to shake her, to demand the truth, but no matter how much anger and hurt boiled inside me, a part of me still clung to the hope that she'd explain it, that she'd give me a reason, an excuse, anything to make sense of chaos. Finally, she spoke, her voice quiet, almost trembling. I didn't mean for you to find out like this." "You mean?" I laughed bitterly, a sound that surprised even me. "Do you even understand what you've done? Do you understand how much trust you destroyed?" Tears welled up, not just in me, but I could see them threatening to fall from her eyes as well. But it wasn't remorse that I saw. It was fear. Fear that the life we had built was unraveling. Fear that the walls she had carefully built around her secrets were collapsing. I just wanted something different," she whispered. Something different. Those words echoed in my mind, hollow and cruel. She didn't want love. She didn't want connection. She didn't want the marriage we had nurtured for years. She wanted, what? Adventure? Attention? The thrill of being desired by someone else? And for what? One night, one fleeting rush of excitement. The price of my trust? I sank into a chair, burying my face in my hands. I could feel my body trembling, my thoughts spinning out of control. Every memory, every shared moment, every promise felt tainted, rewritten by what she had done. I realized then that nothing would ever be the same. The home we shared would never feel safe. The life we had built would never feel whole again. Why? I managed to croak out, my voice breaking. Why me? Why us? Why throw it all away for this? She couldn't answer. She looked down, ashamed, maybe even realizing for the first time the depth of the pain she had caused. And yet, the damage was done. Words couldn't fix it. Apologies couldn't repair the trust shattered into a million irreparable pieces. I stood up, every step heavy, deliberate. "I don't even know if I can look at you the same way again," I said, my voice calm now. cold in its finality. I don't know if I can forgive this. I don't know if I want to try. Her face fell. The lightness, the arrogance, the confidence she carried earlier was gone, replaced by a raw, aching truth. She had lost me, perhaps forever. That night we didn't sleep. We didn't speak much either, the silence thick, suffocating. I retreated to the guest room, trying to wrap my mind around the betrayal, the loss, the stark reality that the woman I loved was no longer the person I thought I knew. In the days that followed, I discovered more, small signs, little admissions, pieces of the puzzle I hadn't seen before. Invitations I didn't know about, secret conversations, unexplained absences. Each revelation was another cut, another reminder that my life had changed irrevocably. I realized then that marriage isn't just about love. It's about trust, loyalty, and knowing that the person next to you is choosing you every day, through every temptation, every fleeting desire. And when that trust is broken, even a single night can unravel everything. I made a choice that week, a decision that hurt more than anything I had ever imagined. I couldn't stay in a life built on lies. I couldn't remain in a home shadowed by betrayal. I began the process of leaving, not in anger, not in revenge, but in the quiet, painful acknowledgement that some things, once broken, can never be repaired. As I packed my things, I looked back one last time at the life I had loved, at the woman I had once trusted more than anyone, and I felt a sorrow deeper than heartbreak. It wasn't just a loss of her, it was a loss of what I believed in, the life I thought we shared, the safety of knowing that love could survive anything. That night changed everything. But for the first time since I saw those pictures, I also felt something else. Clarity. A painful, bitter clarity. I realized that moving forward wouldn't be easy, and some scars would never fade. But I also realized that I had the strength to walk away from a life that no longer honored me, from a love that had turned into betrayal, from a marriage that could never be whole again. And as the door closed behind me, I felt the weight of everything lift just a little. Because while that night had destroyed everything I thought I knew, it had also given me the one thing I needed most, the truth.